All right, so this is our basic photo editing part three. Just real quick, make sure that you all have downloaded your final picture, picture four. Everybody has access to that, so I'm going to go ahead and download that. You guys need to make a copy of that. So we're going to use Canva today. So basically, what you're going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and log out here, but you can log in using your Canva, using your email address and all that great stuff. So just like we talked about, go ahead and log into canva.com and use your email address. So it's going to take a second to do it, and we should be good to go. So now, here's what we're going to do: several different things. There's a lot that can be done on Canva. Canva is a great site. If you look at it, there's headings. I've already started working on next year's media calendar, all these different things, like just a lot of stuff that can be done with it. So what you're going to do first is you're going to hit the plus sign. You're going to create a design. Now, as we did with Adobe Express, we're going to hit custom size, and we're going to stay with the same size that we did the other day with Adobe and create the design. So that's the first part. You're going to create the design. We're going to call this a canvas. It's a blank canvas. So let's get that done first. All right, so here's what we got. We got our blank canvas here. You can add pages as you need to. You just go down and add page. But what we're going to do is we downloaded the picture four of the kittens. So wherever you downloaded it, like in this case, I'm going to upload mine to Canva and make it larger, like really large for the space. Okay. And I'm going to click on it, and it has its own background remover like Adobe Express does. Pretty simple to do. And you notice it's right there. Okay. So there's a lot of things that can be done with it. You can, if you wanted to do like a mirrored image, you can hit Control C, Control V to make you know, copies of it or whatever the case may be. Now, what I want to do, I want to crop this where I don't have any of that extra space, okay? Because I want to make it as big as I can make it. That's still on the canvas. The quality of the picture is pretty good. It's not bad, but I want to keep it as large as I can go, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it down here where it's at the bottom, okay? And then I'm going to hit edit. All right. And then I'm going to hit duotone, I should say. Okay. Duotone. So I hit edit right there. And then I come down here on the effects and I hit duotone. I hit custom. And then I selected the highlights and I'm going to put in black. Okay. Which is 6 zeros. Okay. Now, reason I wanted you to see this is because the highlights are not, it's not working well with me. So there's one other step that you need to do. So I'm going to hit Control Z. I just wanted you to see that process. Okay. So you have this, and now I'm going to add a page. And then what I did with my background is I downloaded it. So like after I do this I blow it up, I'm going to remove the background. Okay. So I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, just showing you some things you can do. All right. So I've got this. I'm going to share. I'm going to hit download. I'm going to hit transparent background if it will allow you to, and then download. Okay. Now, once I download this, I'm going to, in my case, from Google, I'm going to upload it back to my account. Okay. Like that. You see how it uploads right there. Okay. I'm going to add a page, and then I'm going to drop it right there. Now I got a transparent background on this. Okay. It's supposed to be transparent. You can see the difference between the white background, the grass background, and the regular background. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load it up. I'm going to make sure I crop it. So this is the transition or the transparency background that I've got. Okay. I'm going to drop it down. And then from there, I'm going to hit edit. And then I'm going to hit that duotone, as we discussed before, hit custom, select highlights, and then I'm going to go 00B or like 00000. Okay. Now there's some other things you can do with that if you want to. 00B, 050. You know, you can go blue, white, black, whatever. But in this case, you got your highlights. Okay. So like if I wanted to, I could drop this back in, right? And I've got this here. I can drop it back here. Let me undo it real quick. There you go. So, and then I'm going to redo, which is Control Y. All right. So if I wanted to add this back to it, and I wanted to like do like a shadow of some sort, where I can, like do like a shadow within a shadow, or something like that, where it kind of gives you off a little shadow, you can. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do, once you do that, you're going to do a shadow. All right. Like that, where I showed you that. I'm going to just a little bit of a shadow. Okay. To kind of give it a little pizzazz. Right. Then I want to crop that down right here. Okay. Let's hit background remover again, because you're trying to make it transparent. Okay. And then now you can change your background. Okay. So if you wanted to change your background color, you can change your background color. So I'll let you change it, whatever you want to change it. Okay. And so, make it something that's complementary. You don't want to make it too dark. So I'm going to make it like this. That way you can see the background color. Now, text, just like before, you can add your text box. You can add something that's already left there. Okay. And so I chose goals and objectives. So you can choose goals and objectives. That's one of the first ones you see. I'm going to blow it up. All right. And we're going to type in, we're going to leave everything as it. Cute kittens. Okay. Now the key is you're trying to establish, like a brand. Let's say you're doing a brand of some sort, right? So you can go in and change your color scheme. You can change it whatever you want, based on what it looks like in the background. Now you can go pastel colors. Make sure that whatever you do, it's seen. You can see it really well. So like, I'll change it up right there, right? All right. So what you're going to do, I'm going to delete this top one where I only have the bottom one. Okay. Now, the other thing you're going to do is you're going to hit elements, and there's a lot of things you can do with the elements. And this is what I love about the framing, or, the shapes or the graphics or whatever the case may be. Here, you can go in and do some other cool things. So like, for example, I can see the layers. I can show the layers on the left, and it shows me the layers, and it does the overlapping and all that good stuff, right? So in this case, I'm going to hit Control All, and I'm going to group it together. That way, when I move things around, it will stay together, and then I'm going to move it in the middle. Okay, again, I'm right here. I'm going to hit Control A, as in all, and then I'm going to group it together. So this is a grouping function. Now, there's a ton of things you can do with Canva. Canva's more like a, if you wanted to make like typography or logos or whatever, it's very simple to do. So I'm going to put it right there. Okay. Now there's a lot of cool stuff you can do here, that actually are given. If you slide over and you want to put a frame in, we can put frames in. You can do like something with a frame and drop that in a frame, per se, and send it to back, and put a frame in, and then you can put a picture in the frame, whatever. I'm just kind of showing you some examples, but right now, if I did a frame and then I wanted to put a picture in a frame, you could do so. Like, let's say you wanted to do, and we're talking images. You want to, like, just say we're doing a landscape background like we did before, and I want to drop that in the frame or upload something yourself. But let's go to not elements, but let's see what we got here. Let's see what uploads we got. Elements, text, brands. Anything you want really, but It's a little bit different. Like if I wanted to put this guy in here, I could, right? And then, I'm not going to, but you could download anything you want, right? And then I'm going to layer it and send it to back. Okay, so what you need to do, and this is one thing that I'll allow you to do, you can, and I wanted to show you that process, but let's go back to frames. Okay, so you got frames going. Okay. You got mock ups, which is like if you wanted to do a mock up, what I love about the mock ups is you have a layer beside it. So let's do this. Let me cut this. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Remember, we've grouped it. So everything, the cool thing is no matter what size your font is, it's going to move things around. All right. So you see the lines here where they're like blue. Okay. So I've got my shadow. And the shadow could be any color. Okay, then I got my cute kittens, right? And then now I'm going to do mock-ups. So we hit elements and we went to mock-ups, right? So what I'm going to do, and it's got the hearts on it. All right, so let's go here. Let's make it a little bit larger like this. Okay, I want to center that. All right, now this is where you could use multiple websites, right? So you'll use multiple websites. As far as landscapes or whatever, you can go back into Adobe Express. And the reason I want to use Adobe Express is because I don't want to pull a landscape picture that I haven't taken. Now, when we get into taking our own pictures, you can put your own picture in there. Like, for example, if I wanted to put my own picture in there from something I've done from Google Drive, I could do so. But for this case, for we're all doing it right now, I'm just going to type in landscape. Just something interesting, something that is pretty looking, something that okay. So we're going to do. Let's say we're going to do something like this. Okay. All right, and create new and custom and create new file, and we're going to download this. Okay, we're going to download this, and we're going to make it a little bit larger. Okay, because I want it the same size, and then we're going to download it. Okay, still working. We're going to download it. Cool. Now I'm going to go back over to Canva, and now it's downloaded. I'm going to drop it in my uploads. Okay, right here. And it's going in my uploads. Okay. All right. And I got to find it. There it is. It's coming. Okay. Let's see here. Uploads. Okay. Give me 1 second. Text design. Uploads. So I already did it. Give me 1 second. Okay. I think you can connect it to Google Drive. I'm not sure how well this works, but you can connect it to Google Drive. If you have it connected there, I'm going to try to connect it and see if it'll work. This is something that Adobe Express has problems with. Here you go, Dylan. Dylan, just log in. This is something that it has problems with, and I'm going to try it. Oh, so there you go. So look. So I've got all this stuff. So if I were going to use Google Drive, then I'm going to go to my Google Drive and I'm going to just upload it to, put it in a folder somewhere. So let's put it in 122. Let's see, what can I do here? I'm going to put it in, let's see. Sort by folders, CLA magnet. I mean, you can put it really anywhere, but in this case, I just want to upload it. So anyway, you can, for you guys, you all can see that. I'm going to go back. Let me click on my uploads. Let me upload file real quick. And I'm going to upload that. There it is. Okay, so now I got my image. I'm going to put this image inside of this box. Okay, so give me 1 second. Here's my uploads. I'm going to put it inside this box. There we go. There it is. Now it's inside the box. So I got the landscape. Now I'm going to take the layer and I'm going to send it all backward, right? And then remember, I want cute kittens. I want them to, and you don't have to use that landscape. You can just mess around with it. Now, in this case, the way I did this landscape, it you want to make sure that like where cute is green and my background's green, you got to be careful about it. So there's some other things you can use. So if you want, you can use any kind of, as far as framing or whatever the case may be. You can do some AI stuff, but in this case, let's look at the style of it. Okay. And you edit, there's a lot of things you can do there. The magic eraser, is there if you wanted to erase some stuff, and get rid of it. Very similar to Adobe Express. Okay. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to frame it. Okay. So we're going to, let's clear that and let's go to tools. Okay. Click on that. If you want to round it, you can, but there's nothing to round it. So I got to hit edit so I can find the framing. All right. So we can grab a text if you want to and do more text. You can put text inside where the text says cute kittens, and it's inside the text it says cute kittens. So there's a lot of things you can do with it. You look at all these where you can blend it, which I don't think you have access to that yet. So there's a lot of stuff. You can blur the background. You can do an autofocus or whatever. But as far as the tools, what we're trying to do is we're trying to, oh, there you go. We're trying to frame it. So if you wanted to frame it, you could add something like that. Okay, so let's blow it back up. If you want to put a frame around it and make it look cool, you can. So here's what you need. You at least need to have these kittens blown up. You can put a frame around it if you want. All right, you can. I'm gonna go up to elements, and there's my frames. If you want to use a frame, okay, and there's a lot of things you can do with it. There is, if you want to go mock-ups, you can. If you want to go charts, doesn't work, but frames are right there, and you can drop them inside that frame if you want, and that would work too. But the key is let's make sure we add like I want you to add 4 different types of graphics. So like if I wanted to add a graphic, and this is going to be like, I'm going to expand this. This is graphic number 1 after I did what I told you. And so what you got to do is to show it, you got to layer and send it back. So now there's the kittens, right? So there's that. Now there's not a whole lot I can do because it covered it up, but I can do some more stuff. I can do this, where I hit it on the corner, and I make it smaller where it's the corner of the page. So that's number 3. Okay. I'm gonna hit Control V, and then I'm going to, let's do it again, Control C and V or duplicate. Okay. And then what I need to do is I need to flip it. I want to flip it, so it says, center, left, right, whatever. You want to flip it. Okay. So I can turn it like this, flip it like that,